morning, guys. It's an early one. We have family coming over today and we just got carried away with work last night and we didn't get anything near where we needed to get done for the visit. So the family are coming at lunchtime and we want to make a meal for them basically. So we're gonna go for some tomatoes from our greenhouse. We're gonna turn that into a soup and we're going to make some bread. We're gonna show you how we do that. We got great feedback from one of the last videos, so we thought, let's just go for it. It's really simple. To start the bread recipe, we're gonna have a look at our starter, which hasn't been the best of late. And we're just gonna see if we can get the bread together and give it its first proof. So here we have our sourdough starter. Now I just took 2 scoops out of that, popped it into this jar, added a little bit more flour and a bit more water, which I have as a mix here. And then I'm gonna mix it back in. But it's interesting to see the difference. This is the stuff I discarded, and this is the stuff I've freshly fed. Like the discarded one seems way better. We'll see how this one works out tomorrow. Sourdough starters. We're not having the best of luck with it. If you've any tips for sourdough starters, do let me know down below. Another thing I have here is just some flour and water. What I do with that is I just start to mix it in, and then I take the sourdough starter that I've add that in. We're using a Spelt flour, so apparently the Spelt flour is quite delicate and it doesn't take to kneading it very well. So we have to kind of make a very wet mixture. However, one of the things I really wanted to do, instead of just using water and flour like this, I wanted to use the tomato juice. So I'm gonna make tomato soup in a few hours, and as part of that you strain the pulp from the water. So I would have liked to have used the water and made the tomato bread out of that. But my timings this morning just weren't good enough for that. So I'm gonna save the tomato water, and next time I'm going to use that tomato water to make tomato bread. Here we have, I'm not hugely sure, so I'm not going to go on about it, on what Spelt is. Claire kind of bought this, and what I've heard, I think it's like, I don't know, it's a wheat alternative. I think it's like Romans use it, or 5,000 years old or something. Anyway, I just add this on top of my water, mix. Well, that's it all gone. I have another bag if I need it. And then I just use a wooden spoon to just mix it up. This almost looks a little bit dry. We will add a few extra bits. So using our local honey here, because Claire's is a few weeks from coming out, just add a little bit. Next we're going to use some of our basil olive oil. That also makes it a bit easier to work with. Finally, we're just going to add just a tiny bit of our sea salt. Right, mix up that bad boy. I'm not going to need it any more than that. This is going to be as much as we process it. I will give it 2 proofs. One in this bowl and another one a little bit later. Doesn't look very bready, but it seems to work. I'm going to throw the lid over, or a tea towel. Weigh that down with something like this, and we come back to it maybe 2 hours. In the meantime, I'm going to send out my machine to collect the tomatoes, isn't that right? We come back with tomatoes, start on the soup. Glorious morning from West Cork. We're in the middle of a tropical storm.
Oh, that's lovely.
Apparently it's a bit breezy. What's lovely, Claire?
Pink flowers.
Which ones? The pinkies?
Yeah, I've seen those before.
Oh, they look pink. We are on a mission to get tomatoes for some tomato soup. What do you got to say about that?
Should be good.
It's always lovely just to come out here, isn't it, Claire?
Gorgeous. Although you feel wind.
It is a bit windy. Never-ending tomatoes. Woo, suddenly warm in here. You know, now I can't quite see the San Marzano. I reckon these are the San Marzanos. Huge beefies. But the cherries are real stars, aren't they?
Yeah, tasty.
Yeah, so the San Marzano, we've only 2 San Marzano. We're not getting a huge amount, and that's the one that's covered in blight. And that's the heirloom, Claire.
Do you think?
It is. San Marzano is not a hybrid. Yeah, you can chop off half of it, take it. There's a big one down the back. Okay.
Right.
And these are the banana legs that we're just not too sure of.
I don't know if they're banana legs, Rob. 'Cause
Really?
you see, they're the same as those.
Yeah.
But they were all grown in their separate areas.
Oh yeah, that's a good one at the back. The
Do you
back?
think they're San Marzanos?
I do, yeah.
This?
Yeah.
Jesus, they really didn't do so well.
No.
That's just crazy. Like, we did so well, but then the ones we really want. These should all ripen up now for you. Get rid of these yellow ones. Look at these. They're actually tasty.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. Little like
You dropped one.
grapes. I know. And then these are awesome. They're super tasty though.
They are the sweetest. I'd love to know what they are though.
Super tasty. They're black cherry.
You can throw in a few cucumbers if you want.
Yeah. Cucumbers are kind of finishing now. We need to give it another go though.
Look at all the tomatoes coming up here.
I know, I couldn't reach to take the growing points out of those. I took the growing points out of all the others.
It's amazing how it's going behind, isn't it?
I know, but it should be just taken off.
Leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. It's fine. Grass cut within an inch of its life. Nice, very nice. Should we get a few carrots? Sunflower's good, sweet corn's looking great.
I'll just take 2 sunflowers to the table.
You need a knife, do you?
That one's completely knocked over.
Still growing up though. I'm amazed though that there's all these sunflowers are still coming. They're like later ones.
Look at these.
I know. That's very good with the hoops, Claire.
All right.
This is going to be interesting, Claire. Oh my God. Could that be a more perfect carrot? Look at the root at the end.
Just take, like, you can see the tops.
Can you take a clump?
Where there's a, no, because they'll be small, like. Just pick.
Look at that.
And leave the rest.
Oh no, that broke off.
Oh.
That's a weird, must have hit a rock. I have to say guys, these carrots are really good. So we filled the bathtub with a mix of sand and maybe from where we dug the trench.
I think so. I don't think it was anything special.
So we just put sand, you can see the sand in there and earth. And the carrots are growing really well. Usually they'd hit an old rock or something, they wouldn't.
Well, you're guaranteed, aren't you, to have long straight carrots because of the depth of the thing.
Yeah, we need to thin them out for sure.
Yeah.
This is amazing. This might be one of our most successful crops, Claire, for Christmas. We did plant these very late. We have to get the next one going. Lots of decent onions in here, Claire. You should pick them.
They're still off.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But they all look perfect, Claire.
Red onions.
Claire, look at that.
Yeah, this one will be more. But now that you mowed them, we can just pick them up.
Yeah. Oh jeez. I think we have loads of onions that we didn't pick. We thought they were gone because this whole space was just overgrown. Clearly we have quite a few that I missed, so we'll have to come back and pull these. At the moment I have way more than I need for the garden for my tomato soup, so I'm just gonna head back in, throw that in the oven really. I got my produce here. I have a little assorted box of produce for my parents. It's nice to be able to give away gifts like that, isn't it, Claire? They can be guinea pigs. Who knows in the future. Here's our tomatoes. I'm going to add them to some tomatoes we picked yesterday. I'm going to pop them into one of our bowls. This is why we got a double sink, and we're just going to clean them. So I have a pretty big roasting pan. We just have these in here just to give them a little bit of a wash. I'm not terribly precious about them, but don't necessarily want the big green bit. Chuck that back in. They're fine. These are my San Marzano. Unfortunately, these were affected by blight, so I didn't get as many as I wanted. They're an heirloom tomato. These are similar. They're banana legs. They grew brilliantly. However, they're a bit tasteless. So, San Marzano's the way to go. Hybrid tomatoes do brilliantly, but heirloom tomatoes are very prone to a lot of like disease or weather conditions. But generally it's accepted heirloom tomatoes taste a lot better. Oh, San Marzano, baby, yeah. A lot of the folks, particularly the Americans, will put these through a machine to get rid of all the stuff.
It's a food strainer.
It's a food strainer.
Or a food mill. Sorry, food mill.
A food mill.
That's what it's called.
And that is meant to get rid of the skin and the seeds. If you boil these, which I think most people do, the skin and the seeds don't actually get up to enough of a temperature to break down, as far as I know. But anyway, if you boil them, you kind of have to strain them because they don't get hot enough. Now, great thing about putting them in an oven is it does get hot enough. And it breaks down the kind of the sharp acidicness of the tomatoes, specifically of the skin and the seeds. So my recipe that I invented a few days ago is just to not take out the seeds and the skin. To take the whole thing and put it in the oven. The reason I invented this is because we don't have one of those de-seeders, but we will. I think Claire's mum has one that she's gonna lend to us. Alright, I reckon that's maybe all of it. Right folks, next up, I'm gonna just chuck in 1 or 2 red onions for a bit of flavour. How good does that look? We're gonna throw in just some normal olive oil. Actually, we're gonna throw in quite a lot of olive oil. This is not the basil infused olive oil because we are adding our own basil. Then we add a decent bit of sugar or of salt. That's probably enough. Then finally a nice bit of a good quality honey. We want a little bit of caramelization, especially the onions and the basil. Nice. Let's bang this in the oven for about an hour and a half. So that's gone into the oven. Let's take a look at our bread. Alrighty. Bread is looking perfecto. My hands are pretty clean from washing all the tomatoes, so you can see this just sticks to the fingers immediately. So I'm gonna wash my hands with a bit of olive oil. This doesn't stop everything from sticking to your fingers, but it does a pretty good job. See? Not really sticking. You don't necessarily want to knead this spelt because it's very sensitive apparently. You don't even want to raise your voice at it really. There, spelty, spelty. You just want to knock the bubbles out. Knock the bubbles out, get it back to its regular size. Boom, see? We're gonna put a lid on that, keep it for another hour, then pop it in the oven when the tomatoes come out. Get a towel, get your lid, set it aside. Boom! Right folks, so I reckon we're in for the final proof for the bread. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use 2 bread pans. Hopefully we'll do 2. And I'm just gonna line it with parchment. I've never actually done this. We always used to like oil or butter the sides of the pan, but apparently parchment acts as a bit of a diffuser. I don't know. Let's see if we can get 2 in there anyway. Here's our bread. It's almost at the top. Need a bit of oil in my hands. Just want to go again and just knock a little bit of the air out. If you don't like kneading bread, I reckon Spelt's a good option. You don't have to knead it at all. Maybe I'll only make 1 loaf actually. Yeah. Cool. So I reckon we are only going to do 1. You can see, oh, I just popped it. But you can see this method, by not kneading it completely, there's still air bubbles inside there. So there's a big air bubble right up here in the corner. Nothing fancy, we're not going to cut it, nothing like that. We're just going to cover it again. I don't really want to get this dirty, so I'm going to use another one to cover it. Put my tea towel over it, and within 30 minutes to an hour, that should be good to go in the oven. Just noticed I have a dirty patch on my clean t-shirt. This is my good t-shirt. This isn't a working t-shirt. 20 minutes and it's filthy. I swear it's just for the camera. I do have clean clothes. I do have clean clothes. I know it's been said, but I have clean clothes. Okay, we're going to take out the tomatoes. Whoop, whoop. So this is exactly what we're looking for. A little bit of char in the onion. Look at that. So most of this now is water, so I'm going to get the water out. I'm going to put it in the pot. I'm going to blitz it. We at least get the soup on the way. I can do a bit of tidy up as well. I actually should have showed you. This is the so this is the tomato water with a bit of olive oil. If you could keep that, which I am going to keep, this will make this will help to make a gorgeous tomato bread tomorrow. Almost forgot that. Okay. So we pop these in. Spare a little bit of basil. Okay. Blend this bad boy up. Alright, so I've taken out a little bit so myself and Clark can taste a little bit. I think that's gorgeous.
It's hot. It's very wholesome.
I actually don't think it needs to be sweetened. Claire was just saying there
I would say add just a little bit of more. I don't know what I add, honey. I think I would add brown sugar. Just a little bit of brown sugar.
Would you think the cream would do it? Gonna try to add a little bit of cream to this and see what kind of flavour we get. I quite like it like this. I feel like it tastes like I just picked them off the greenhouse, which I did myself. I don't want to process it too much with sugars or salts but cream, Claire does want to try cream and tomato, so we might just give that a little go. Alright. We should mix it in.
Mix it round. It'll just kind of neutralise it a bit.
You see, this just looks like a yogurt.
That's how my mum's looked like though.
Really?
She would add cream and brown sugar.
Well, maybe you should have made the soup then. This is how my dad does it. He didn't add cream and he didn't add sugar.
Okay, that's fine.
It's definitely creamy.
That's better.
It was already perfect.
No, like
Hard to improve on perfection, Claire.
no, that's just kind of neutralised. It's just because we don't have a food mill, so we can't eliminate the seeds.
I don't want to eliminate them.
And so it's quite wholesome, which tastes amazing. But there was just a little tinge of bitter. But the little bit of cream really helps, I feel.
I don't know if I'd add the cream, would you? Or would you let people add their own cream to taste?
Good, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we leave this as is?
I would.
Pretty good, isn't it? I'm not sure.
Very nice with the cream, actually.
I'm not sure will we get to show you the bread or the cake because they're meant to be here in a little bit, but we'll see how we go. But this is really, really good. So guests are about 20 minutes off. I need to put the bread in. I put the heating element for the cake. Seems to be going okay. Then Ash needed a shower. So he put on the shower and we tripped. So all power cut off to the house. We're back down to one oven. I'm trying to get it up to speed. Kids, they need a wash, apparently. As soon as this gets up to temperature, it's not that far off actually. Maybe I'll just feck it in. But, look at that. You can see little bubbles there. I mean, it's amazing, this spelt. It's very wobbly like. It'll come out brilliant now, trust me. We want 40 minutes in total at the hottest setting that the oven will go to, which I think on this is about 250 degrees centigrade, which is brilliant. I think this could even make really good pizzas. Wouldn't that be nice? Settle the colors, breathe into one.
You have one here.
So, folks, the bread is done, the soup is done. I'm not sure guests are going to be here, so I'm not sure I'm going to try it, but it has actually come out perfect. Look at that. Look at this. Spelt pan. How cool is that? Yeah. For the Americans, when we say a sliced pan, over here, pan is in bread cooked in one of these, and it's just you get a pre-sliced. But this is perfect. Look at the crust, just like a chop. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there, and I might try it later with you. I won't do it in front of the guests, but there's the bread, there's the soup. If there's leftovers, might give you a taste test combined. Well, hello folks. It's been a very successful afternoon's entertaining, hasn't it, Claire?
Has, very nice.
You've seen the tomato soup. And here's all we left of the tomato soup. It went down very, very well. We have only a little bit of bread left here. I must show you. The bread was gorgeous. I just sliced it. Can you see the perfection of this bread? Look at that. Have you ever seen a pan yourself that you could just chop like that? Have you?
No, the bread is fabulous.
Let's get a little bit of a taste going here, shall we, Claire? Has to get a little bit of Kerrygold Irish butter on it.
Dairy Manor.
Is it? Dairy Manor. AKA the Kerrygold. I mean, this is an Irish sliced pan.
What's amazing about it actually is
It's unreal.
how well it keeps and stuff as well.
The shape.
No, but I know that we've made it like in the past, and any bread we've made, it just seems to keep better and taste better than anything that you buy.
I just, like, what amazes me is like, it's just so perfectly formed, so spongy. Don't laugh, Claire. It's like there's no kneading. That's what I'm saying. Like this was liquid. Normally with bread or pizza dough, you have to keep working it and kneading it. But this Spelt, you don't do anything to it, and you just get the amazing texture. There's almost like a healthy taste to it, isn't it? Like you can tell there's no like chemicals and preservatives and sugars and stuff added to it. Tastes like a bread you would have tasted years and years and years ago. Maybe some, like a loaf, a baker's, I suppose, loaf, isn't it?
It is lovely. Yeah,
Really good. Anyway, catch you later.